Jumping the line. The United States, a nation of immigrants. According to the latest census, there are around 22 million non-U.S. citizens living in the country. More than half of them, some 11.4 million, are undocumented immigrants. But why don't they come here legally? Let's imagine that the U.S. is the hottest nightclub in town and everyone is trying to get in the front door. But there are a limited number of spaces to get in and the wait list is long. Take Mexico, for example. The U.S. has set aside 25,900 slots in 2015 for Mexican immigrants, but around 1.3 million from that country are already on the wait list. For people in Mexico, the minimum wait time is 2 years, but some will wait more than 20 to come in. If you're from the Philippines, it'll take years longer than that. Some 473,000 people came to the U.S. with immigrant visas in 2013, meaning they plan to stay in the United States. And the U.S. issued 9 million non-immigrant temporary visas. This includes students and tourists as well as visas for temporary workers. A much smaller group, around 21,000, came into the country as refugees that year, and U.S. immigration courts agreed to grant asylum for about half of those who applied. But getting to this point on the line has not been easy. The first step is to apply for an immigrant visa. That person will need to be sponsored. Their application then goes through a series of steps, including a review, a background check, and a personal interview. If someone gets a visa and moves to the U.S., they can apply to become a permanent resident, and after that, wait at least another 5 years to apply for citizenship. Best case scenario, someone will wait more than a decade, but some have waited even longer for a chance to come to the United States. At the current rate of visas issued, it would take about 50 years just to clear the total immigration backlog of 4.4 million, and that's if no one else applied. Getting in the line isn't cheap. Getting into the hottest club in town costs about $700 in application fees and likely thousands to pay an immigration lawyer. Border enforcement isn't cheap for the U.S. taxpayer either. The Border Patrol's budget, $3.6 billion, is 13 times higher than it was in 1990. While most immigrants who go through the legal process are sponsored by family members or employers, there's a trump card. If you bring $500,000 with you, you can cut to the head of the line with a special visa and skip the wait that may stretch to decades. While the reasons for wanting to live in the U.S. vary widely, keeping families together and building a better life, fleeing repressive regimes, corruption, and drug cartels, it comes as no surprise that thousands jump the line each day, braving the desert and the border, looking for a way inside.